Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm just here to bring you my latest tag bags. So I have two here. I will start with this one. They're both very similar on the outside. They're basically, you know, if you've seen my tag bags before, they're just a little bag pouch that I have made shaped like a tag. And it just features a little stamped image. It's got a ruffle here, a bit of feuille de monte and a paper flower. And then it's just got some twine here holding it shut. And then inside are 10 tags, all different sizes and styles of tags to use in your journals. Or indeed, as somebody commented, you know, they could be used as gift tags or anything you like, really. So this is tag bag number 1. And the first tag is this piece of cardstock, which I have kind of covered the centre and done some dilutions, kind of watered down with pearl mists around the edge. And it's got a tape measure tab with a bit of lace, a ticket and a postcard there, and the back is obviously plain for journaling. There's that one. The next one is some coffee dyed cardstock, which has been decoupaged with napkin over the top and got some stamping going on as well. There's some vintage sheet music, a little journaling spot and one of those Tim Holtz tickets there, and a butterfly that I've just fussy cut from some scrapbook paper that's been distress inked and coffee dyed, and I've just stapled on some lace as a tab at the top, and the back is plain. Actually, I won't keep on showing you the backs because obviously, because they're tags, they're all going to be the plain cardstock or this buff coloured kind of card, and they're going to be plain, other than one or two may have a stamped corner or something, because obviously they're to be used as tags. So, you know, there's nothing really exciting going on the backs of any of them. So the next one here, this is decoupage napkin onto vintage sheet music. And then I've got a stamped image of, you know, the postcard kind of header and a stamp. Another little postage stamp cluster of images that I've stamped and stuck on there. Little journaling spot down here. And then here, this is a famous composer. I'm not sure who. I can't remember, I'm afraid. But I've just fussy cut him out of a vintage children's encyclopedia, and then I've stuck him onto some sewing pattern paper and layered him up onto the tag, and then it's just got some lace at the top. And then another composer here. This may have been bark, I'm not sure. Again, this is just some scrapbook paper that's been coffee dyed. I've got some vintage sheet music that's been distress inked, a doily, and then he's just been cut out and popped on there, and then a journaling spot down the bottom, and then some vintage lace for the top. And then the next one, this is actually a piece of my vintage ephemera, so it's a copy of that. I have coffee dyed it and distress inked it all up. I've fussy cut this vintage building out of a book and placed that on top of the letter, then decoupaged some napkin onto there and a little flower with a pearl centre, and then it's just got a lace kind of tab, so I rather like kind of how that looks with the vintage building. And then this one here, this is some scrapbook paper, and then I've stamped an image of this gorgeous fountain on some coffee dyed cardstock, and then I have glued that onto there with a couple of Martha Stewart butterflies, and a printable of a ticket is there, and I've just stamped in some corners there, and it's again got some lace as the tab. And then this one here is in this beautiful teal colour paper, which I have then layered up various elements. It's all been coffee dyed and distress inked, and it's got some lace in the corner there as the kind of tab. And then this one here, again, it's some scrapbook paper. It's got some decoupage napkin on the vintage sheet music, and it's got a little journaling spot and a ticket, and then it's got some organza bow at the top there just to kind of tie it off. And then here there's a slightly smaller tag, and that's again got some layered up elements. It's got a journaling spot, it's got a vintage advert stamped image, Martha Stewart butterfly that's all been distress inked, and some lace trim across the bottom. And then in the top of this one, it's got obviously some organza ribbon, and then it's got a bulb pin holding a little teeny tag, and then a stamped image of this 9 and 6 label, and just a button there. So it's rather pretty. And then this final tag in this first tag bag is this one, which is again scrapbook paper, which has all been coffee dyed and distress inked. And then it's got this stamped image as a kind of belly band across the front. It's got some lace trim, and then tucked in is another little mini tag with just some layered up elements. And then it's got some string and some of this kind of curly trim there. That just tucks in like that, and it's got some lace trim on the corner. So that's the 10 tags in the first tag bag. And then the second one, so very similar again, it's just a tag shaped pouch, and it's got a fabric ruffle with some faux de monte and a paper flower. And then again it's tied with twine, or held, you know, shut with twine. And then inside again you've got 10 tags. So the first one is this one, which is on buff coloured card, and I've double layered it so it's kind of double thickness, because otherwise it was a bit flimsy. And then I've layered up various elements on there. You've got some vintage lace which I've coffee dyed, you've got this gorgeous butterfly image, some vintage sheet music, and a bit of that bridal lace there, just so it's got a bit of sparkle. And then it's got some lace trim at the top, and a bit of sewing pattern paper there. Then the next tag here, this is some scrapbook paper. It's got a frame here, lots of stamping, and a decoupaged bird from a napkin that I've just kind of decoupaged him onto some cardstock and then glued him onto the tag, and that's got some lace trim at the top. And then this one here, this is again some scrapbook paper, some vintage sheet music, and then this bird which has been fussy cut out of one of the vintage bird books that I have. And then this sentiment, live well, laugh often, love much. You've got some lace trim and some faux de monte, and this little baker's twine bow, and then just a little stamped image in the corner. Then this here, this is some vintage sheet music, and then it's just got this gorgeous image here of a flower that's all been stitched on the sewing machine, and then you've got some lace ruffle down the side, and that's just been backed onto again some coffee dyed cardstock there, and it's held just with some twine. And then this tag here, this is just some scrapbook paper. It's got layered up vintage book page, vintage sheet music, another different vintage book page, and then you've got these images which are actually from the Vintage Children's Encyclopedia, but they're a copy which I've photocopied and stuck onto cardstock, fussy cut it out and stuck it onto the tag with this perfume label stamped image, and then this postage mark stamped image. And then in the top it's just got some lace trim and also this well, other kind of trim, I'm not sure what you would call that, but like a fibre. So that's that tag. And then this tag, beautiful, beautiful colour. It's this polka dot colour cardstock, and that's just been backed onto the buff coloured card. And then here there is some fabric in this much darker kind of teal type colour, which actually is forming a pocket. Unfortunately, I don't think I've got anything small enough to be able to demonstrate that. Actually, I've just managed to find a piece of paper. So you've got kind of another pocket in here. And then it's just got some layered up stamped images and a little flower, some lace trim and faux de monte there, and a lace tab. And then here you've just got some scrapbook paper, stamped image, vintage sheet music, and then some of this gorgeous but very delicate vintage lace, which has been coffee dyed. So you've got some at the top and some here at the bottom, and some pearl trim there, and then just a fussy cut rose. This is just from some scrapbook paper that's been coffee dyed and distress inked, which I just thought looked quite nice on there. And that's just again backed onto the buff coloured card. Then you've got this stylish, I think I would describe this tag as, in this gorgeous colour, which you can faintly see kind of script writing on there. It's got some vintage sheet music that's been distress inked, and then this silhouette here, I think from some Kaiser Craft die cut shapes, I think, but I couldn't swear by that. So anyway, I thought that looked rather nice. And then it's just got some lace trim and this gorgeous black trim flower that I've just stapled those on just there. So I think that's a really nice tag. And then this one here, this is just on some coffee dyed cardstock, and then I've just decoupaged some napkin on, stamped a bird cage and some swirls in the corner, and then fussy cut this stamped image of some postage stamp clusters and stuck that on there, and it's got some lace trim at the top. And then the final tag in this particular kit, or this particular tag bag, is this one here, which is again some scrapbook paper which has all been coffee stained, and you've got some sheet music, vintage sheet music, and then you've got these decoupage napkin images that have been decoupaged onto some more sheet music. And then I have just stamped 4 corners there, and this slightly different perfume label here, stamped image that I've just popped on, and some lace trim in the corner, like that. So yeah, that's your 10 tags for tag bag number 2. I mean, obviously, again, kind of, you know, and I know that I've said this before, you know, hopefully they're just something really nice to be able to just grab from your stash of kind of existing tags, you know, so that when you make a journal you can just grab 1 or 2 and pop them in, and just something pretty and nice to receive really through the post. So I hope you like them, and if you did, give them a thumbs up, that would be great. Thanks very much, and obviously they'll be on my Etsy shop. So thanks a lot for watching. Have a nice day. Thanks, bye.